Well, hello everybody. Do you recognise my voice? I don't know you don't recognise my avatar, but yes, welcome to yet another edition of Metaworld News. This programme we're bringing you the highlights for the week ending 5th of July 2020. Now, in our good old tradition here, we decided to pop along to another place to do a show this week. No news desk, and not my normal avatar, actually. I fell into a bucket of bleach. You can't tell because I've got a hat on now. And the bleached beard didn't move my mouth. Oh dear, it's not all fun and games, but it has been, I'll tell you that. We're actually in a world called Sansar, and we've been at the Lost Horizon and Shangri-La festivals here during the weekend. Friday and Saturday. It wasn't actually on today. And yeah, there were five different stages. There was the Lost World stage, which is part of Lost Horizon. Then there was the four Glastonbury stages, which you had to be registered and have a ticket to get to the Glastonbury stages. But the Lost World stage was free for anybody who popped in and hadn't prepared, if you see what I mean. Great stuff. There was I can't remember what. Yeah, Freedom Stage was mostly live bands, and Nomad was a bit of everything, and the Gas Tower in particular would tended to be the dance music, the DJs. Friday was a spectacular show by Fatboy Slim. He really knew exactly what he was doing, and the production crew did a wonderful job. I was speaking to, amongst other people, Ian Hughes, Predator, who long time viewers of my shows will know. He used to be on the webcam First Week in Review with us almost most weeks. Um, Before he went and moved to BBC. Yeah, he moved from me to the BBC. That's a good one. But uh, he actually wrote a thing saying in all his 15, 20 years or something as a metaverse evangelist, he doesn't think he's been to anything that is so compellingly well done, in terms of a social world and a music event and everything else. Um, it's kind of one of those things where surprisingly you just realise that the people behind the scenes have thought of just about everything, to make it special. But from the way they present, the bands, for example, were live actors on stage, but they were coming in on video, but against a green screen, and they were totally transparent. So there was no background behind them except for their drum kit or their guitars or whatever. You felt they were walking around the stage in front of you, and they were the same size as avatars would be. The video had been scaled, and there are other video layers too, with sort of special effects on, that were projected around the place. And same with the DJs. There was just a DJ deck, and the DJ would be there for real in front of you. The only time the illusion was broken was if you went really close up to the stage on either the left or far right, and if you tilted your head around, you suddenly saw them begin to look like cardboard cutouts, because of course they were coming in via video. But by and large, the illusion worked. Yeah. And no lag, fast and easy to navigate. Fatboy Slim, I believe, there are about 350 avatars for that performance. Um, I think they may have been using a form of sharding, but it didn't seem to affect your ability to keep talking to everybody. It's almost as if they were on different shards, they were sort of still seeming, well, I don't know. Surprisingly, apart from Chantal Helvey, who many of you may know, who I think was one of the film people behind it, or working on it, should I say. I don't actually know, oddly enough, any of the behind the scenes people there. Sansar, of course, is no longer part of Linden Lab. In fact, no disrespect to Evie and folks at Linden Lab, but I suspect if Linden Lab still owned it, nothing quite that good would ever be put on. It's probably sort of taken an independent touch to, go full whack into that. And of course, they've been PRing it for weeks. There was Rolling Stone did an article, NME, the New Musical Express here in the UK, did an article. Uh, uh, Loads of places have done articles as well as the usual blogs, so it has been great. Anyway, without further ado, that explains where I am, not what I am today. My name is Mal Burns, after all that, if you didn't know that. Mal, one word. Burns, second word. But if you want to find me on Twitter, you're going to have to squash me. Yes, don't like being squashed, but you have to. Get squashed everywhere on the web, really. Twitter.com/Mal Burns, Malburns. And we have another feed there too, twitter.com/Metaworld News. Also two words squashed together. And you'll find links for a whole load of stuff there between the two of those, not all of which I became much more selective about the ones I'm reading out on this show. There's just far too many to cover everything. I'm also joined, as always, in this strange new place by James Outloud, who's not actually visibly pressing any knobs today, but
No,
believe
no
me, behind the
knobs. Right.
yeah, behind the scenes, he's got some invisible knobs that you can't see.
Yep.
Yes, he has,
Yep.
switching the cameras, and amongst other things, he will be shortly bringing you my desktop,
Yeah.
so you
No
can actually
camera
see.
switching, but I do camming
Yeah,
today, so that's fine.
yeah.
Yep.
So you get my desktop, you get
Yep.
my desktop too.
I see
So
Anara
yes,
Pay living in a modem world.
yes, indeed. Yes, you got an exclusive first look before the audience see it. I think, unless you put it on there already.
I just put it on,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, you did just to show off. Yes, I know. Right. Okay. Well, on topic. As I said, today's the 5th of July, 2020, which means we're bringing you, 7 days highlights. I'm starting at the most recent and working back. It's just an easy way to cope with the tabs I've got open while I'm talking to you. And as James said, the picture on the first one we're looking at is an Pace blog, living in a modem world. The website for this is simply modem world, or one word, as written up there, .me. And literally, this is posted maybe an hour ago, which is why it's the first one up. And she has also covered the Glastonbury in Sansa with post event observations, as you can see, and a few pictures here and there. And a lot of the bloggers have been here. It's had amazing coverage, although given all the feeds I followed, there are a lot of people supposedly involved in VR and virtual worlds and things who actually miss this. I mean, I guess they're too obsessed with Second Life and other VR chats and alt space VRs and things. But by and large, there was pretty huge interest here, and obviously a lot of people who've never actually been in the virtual world before, either watching it on video or stumbling into Sansa trying to work out what was what, which they found very easy. I hasten to add, a lot of people that I think I'm new here. It's good, isn't it?
It
Which
is,
was
yeah.
basically the general consensus. Um, anyway, so that was that. You will be able to find, I think it's Lost Horizon, the account on YouTube. I know Isabel Shaven and a whole load of other people have been posting videos of it too, but the official site has the complete coverage of all four stages. They were live over 2 days, but the recordings are there for replay. And oddly enough, we didn't know which stage to use for the show today. We were just trying out another one, and I actually had Pete Tong's set. I was going to be running it silently behind us while we spoke, but we decided in the end that we're probably better off here, where it's less complicated and works properly. Right. Anyway, I'll put another away. That was quite literally just come in. And hello, why am I on that? There we are. Okay, so normally I start the week with the Ghost Towels here, which is scarredghost.com, SKARREDGHOST.com. Although this one actually is yesterday's post from him. And it's called Alone Together: What I've Learned from Organizing a Big VR Concert. Now, he is not talking about Glastonbury or Lost Horizon. He is talking about the Jean-Michel Jarre one that we sort of covered a little bit last week. Um, he was actually one of the organizers behind it, and really, this article is a sort of general article with a backstory and everything else about what was going on and how it was all put together, and what he learned from his involvement and working alone together is yes, there we are, the poster. Obviously that's a long personal article, so I should just leave it at that. Scarred Ghost with a K for Scarred, and scarredghost.com. Right. Okay, now this is uploadvr.com, uploadvr.com, and this post is how social VR helped an esports player overcome social anxiety. Um, it's the story of a chap who was never comfortable getting out of his house and struggled with anxiety, depression, and didn't want, in a trend noticed by others, he discovered a new path to reality through social VR. Um, Unsurprisingly, he has dreamed of immersive gaming since he was a child. This is the chap in question. Finally, when Oculus Rift was released, his dream became a reality. And basically, what does it say? Being immersed in virtual environments would actually give him the confidence to face far more traditional social settings. And apparently, it's quite big in esports. Esports um, uh, being different from games, if you see what I mean. He's come out of his shell basically as a result of social virtual worlds. So nice little story there, really. You find that at uploadvr.com. Come on, I do not want this damn thing. Um, Let me pin that tab and stick it somewhere else where it's out of the way. Okay, back to the buffer feeds. Right. Um, Okay, yeah, very much on the same theme all this week. Theatres and music festivals, where VR works and where it fails. This is a writer called Tom Fisk, and the post is at a blog called www.virtualperceptions.com. Now, virtual perceptions is two words in one, so it's VIRTUAL, one of these days, somebody's going to replay my thing and realize I left out a letter or something. But virtualperceptions.com, fairly easy, really. And of course, the first line: Glastonbury Festival, staple of UK culture, etc., etc. But he goes on to talk much more general about Lost Horizon, obviously. Can festivals work in VR? Um, it's odd. This post was literally a day or two ago, and but he's written it as though the Lost Horizon thing, instead of finishing yesterday, was in past tense. I guess maybe he wrote it knowing that it wouldn't be published immediately. Anyway, can festivals work in VR, and sort of theatre work in VR too, for that matter? And yeah, looking at it all basically from the inside out. Okay, so you find that at virtualperceptions.com. Oh, this darned. Do I actually? I don't even know whether I need that. I guess I probably do need that tab open. Right. Oh dear. Oh no, 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 no. Okay, it's let me in. Oh no, continue. Uh, no, I don't want to click continue to side. Well, let me in originally. Okay, this is CNBC, so it's www.cnbc, four letters there, .com. And they have an article: Virtual reality is booming in the workplace amid the pandemic. Here is why. And they're looking at a few key points. And oh, it looks like I've got through the paywall finally. Um, I had it open, but whilst it was waiting for me to come back to it, it put a blocker. Right. Yeah, general sort of article there. Yeah, another lovely graphic illustration demonstrating the beauty of being having nothing under your waist.
No legs.
It's a yeah, well, not just legless, nothing under the waist too.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a very fun way to go through life, does it? How do you reproduce if you ain't got anything beneath the waist?
Control C.
Very good, very good. Oh yes, okay, well, I asked for that one really, didn't I? Yes, indeed, indeed. There was a lot of procreation going on at Glastonbury as well, naked
Ah.
avatars and all sorts of
Oh,
strange
naked.
things,
Okay.
but in very good sort of spirit. It just felt like Glastonbury, you know.
Yeah.
The Glastonbury I remember the old days, clothes were probably more rare than nudity was the norm, I think, in the early 70s or whenever it was.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, this year would have been the 50th anniversary. And I was actually at the first one in Worthy
Oh
Farm.
my. Wow.
It was small compared with what it is now.
Mm.
But yes, anyway, moving on from that. So virtual reality is booming in the workplace amid the pandemic, and sort of obviously people, when they go to work, have to leave their below the waist behind. Okay, enough of that. Oh, this room business is bugging me. Let's see if I make. I think I should be able to close this tab now that the actual thing is open. Right. Yeah, it looks like I can.
Yep.
Okay, now this is supposed to readwrite.com. Read and write. READWRITE. Two words together there. Readwrite.com. And they're talking about volumetric video becoming key content for VR. Um, and filmmaking and stuff like that. Volumetric video is very much a different way of presenting video from the sort of 2D, 3D screens you look at. Um, I'm trying to think. Right, first it's explaining virtual reality. 360 video rendered in virtual reality is still only viewable from a single perspective. Um, does not give you the freedom to fully explore the environment by yourself. Whereas volumetric video provides greater immersion. Volumetric capture technology enables images of real people and objects to be simultaneously captured with many cameras at the same time. Now, that really explains what volumetric video would be, but the similar rules apply for using the technology to yeah, construct virtual worlds too. Uh, well, I suppose we have you know, when you see motion captured dances worn by avatars and things like that. Um, Here we are, volumetric capture. Anyway, you can read all about it. It was a bit tedious for this poor chap. Just
Yeah.
standing there in the middle of lights and green screens and everything else,
Yeah.
but you have to do it. A lot of this stuff, I think, was being used behind the scenes at Glastonbury too. So there you go. Oh, my peak is working. That's good. I've got a little toy that's finally working again, which allows me to zoom in automatically to a picture frame when I mouse over it, all for your benefit at home,
Oh, yeah,
folks.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, see, it's there's a picture, and I do this, and it goes full. Well, wrong dimensions, of course, but it just becomes a floating picture that I can then resize in front of
Mm-hmm.
you. Oh,
Nice.
right, clever sod, eh? Right. So, readwrite.com for that article. And told those to go away. Right, put that away. Okay. AR, well, VR AR, sorry, Association. Well, their post, this is June 26th, earlier in the week actually. Via Technic, whoever who'd be they, they're using virtual reality to make disaster relief housing and modular COVID care centres a reality. Basically, there seem to be the idea here is they're using virtual reality simulations to design places for uh, well, um, uh, coping with after disasters, isolating people, and you know, customizing environments. Really, um, They're deploying wooden structures for responding to disasters such as floods, hurricanes, and refugee crises, then came COVID and with its attendant healthcare facility shortage. So they're really focused on building healthcare facilities with a view to coping with all the things to do with COVID. So this you want thevara.com for this www.thevara.com, and then you'll find that article there. My bingy thingy is not working on this one. No, well, never mind. Can't win them all. Right. Yeah, don't know. Okay. This is. I can tell from the icon at the top here. It's actually medium.com, but the actual address to get to this article, which means you don't go to Medium's firewall, is ARVR Journey. ARVRJOURNEY.com. ARVRjourney.com. Virtual reality, do we live in our brain's simulation of the world? This is one of those things that does get talked about a bit of a lot. Come on, sue me. Oh, I don't know what it's doing now. Come on, I want my peaky to. It doesn't work on every article, it seems. So much for playing up all my pictures. Right. Anyway, this is all. Well, it's nature has given us our very own internal VR headset between the ears. I find this stuff fascinating, and it's not altogether um, unrelated to virtual reality. Although whether you actually believe in this sort of stuff, it's speculation, of course. But it's it's the argument, it's the question, it's the discussion. I find that very fascinating indeed. ARVRjourney.com. Please give me another one that works with my thingy. There we are. Yes. You have to be careful. Okay, pretty pictures there. Right. Okay, the article here is called, this is voicesvr.com. There are two this week. 922 is the number of this one. Lighting emotional performance and the grief of miscarriage in a thing called Minimum Pass. It's a immersive narrative that explores the grief of miscarriage, emotional, etc., etc. Um, they applied visual effects knowledge gained from working at Weta Digital in New Zealand to push the game engine, real-time game engine, beyond cartoony with a flat shaded look. So it's all being filmed in a game engine, basically. Arguably, you could call it a machinima, but I think it's unique of itself. Anyway, this is actually an interview and a discussion all about it. So you can either listen at this site, or maybe you can get Voices VR, the podcast from all over the place. But this is Voices of VR, three words in one. VOICESOFVR.com. So reading all those letters out individually is a
Mm.
bit overwhelming
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. Okay, this is a site called businesswire.com. I'm not going to read that out. I mean, you can work that one out for yourselves, I'm sure. Business Wire, but all squashed together as the web does. Businesswire.com. And this one again mentions Sansar powering the festival of the future. Sansar allows for long-term monetization with promoters, sorry, by providing unlimited performances in custom venues. A new partnership with Lost Horizon opens up revenue streams for artists indefinitely. So the gist of this article is to you've already had me and others raving about how good the Lost Horizon experience was, the Raspberry thing. The focus of this article, I suppose in many ways the guys at Sansar probably did view this as a kind of prototype to show just how good they can do it. So they can actually offer unlimited performances, custom venues to business community. There was certainly there's no obvious business side to the Lost Horizon event, but the real Glastonbury is full of business. The Lost Horizon actually was collecting money and donations for the big issue, and oh, can't remember what the other one was. But you didn't actually have to pay for a ticket, unlike the real Glastonbury. You did have to get a ticket, or you couldn't get in.
Hmm.
But you were asked to make donations to. There's a big issue, and the other one, which was particular, I can't remember. I've seen it too many times. My mind's now gone blank. Anyway, this is a post at businesswire.com on a similar subject there. It was posted on June 29th, which I guess is early in the week, actually, before the event actually happened. And oh, yeah, they're actually the Wookiee Project Core are the people that bought Sensor from Linden Labs. And so they're talking about everybody involved. VR Jam were involved, and there's another one off screen here called Agora, which is a video, voice, and live interaction platform. Um, anyway, yeah, a bit behind the scenes from a business perspective there. So, businesswire.com. Right. I wish it wouldn't keep doing this. You get my desktop every 2 seconds. Anyway, latest modern art installation is inside Fortnite. Now, will it do its thingy? Why does it do it with some and not others? I'm a bit. Okay.
Style
It,
sheets. Yeah.
it's probably a cascading style sheet that stops the zooming facility working. Right. Anyway, it's not particularly interesting picture really. It looks more colourful than substantial, if you see what I mean. Right. Latest smart art installation is inside Fortnite. Your progress will be saved. Is the name of the art piece. It's available now. This is posted July 1st, so that's literally a couple of days ago. Um, it feels like something. Your progress will be saved. Right, is the whole title. Feels like something you find in a modern art gallery. Attendees start off in a sort of holding area, a dimly lit room with a clean, minimalistic aesthetic, and then you go into the whole thing. It's a new project from the Manchester International Film Fest. Sorry, Manchester International Festival. Forget the film now.
Hmm.
Called Virtual Factory, which is essentially a virtual art gallery built using Fortnite's creative mode. An actual real life space called the Factory is currently under construction, and fittingly, this was a debut installation, which ended up going virtual while the real thing was being built. Whatever, and a video, of course, there to go with it, etc., etc. Again, this is on the fringes of what is VR and what is art and stuff, but of interest certainly. And what did I say? Forget what I said there. I think it's largely a headset experience. Um, Psychedelic World reminiscent of Travis Scott's Fortnite event last in May. Um, okay, I can't actually see any reference there as to whether it is actually only a headset job or not. Um,
I'm trying to remember if
but
the game is a headset game.
yeah, okay. Well, it is some kind of game or experience that's
I
available
don't play
now.
Fortnite, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, that very much is very much a game. Anyway, if you're interested, just go to theverge.com, which is where we're looking at now. And the site can be reached. That's the pulse for the advert. Naughty adverts. Right, www.theverge, theverge.com. And that's a bit about art in Fortnite. Right. This is vrfocus.com. Oh, good, my thingy's working. Yeah, thingy's working. There you are. Zoom in for you. Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on now. I should read out the thing first, shouldn't I? From gaming to the theatre, haptic feedback delivers for surgical training. So this is a surgical training thing where you get the actual haptic feedback response. Um, I'm not sure whether. Okay. Okay, yeah, these are gaming devices basically and stuff that can be used for training because you can you get the haptic feedback, which is the actual sense of touch. There's another post coming up which is a bit related to this actually in a minute or two. So yes, there's all your. It's a bit weird to control this when you're using your. Come on, blow up! There you are. Or the gory detail. They've got all those suction pumps in there. Is that somebody's stomach? It
Yeah,
is.
laparoscopy.
I don't know that I want to know actually. Anyway, you will find that at vrfocus.com.
Minimally
Right.
invasive surgery. It's
Yes.
quite good.
Yeah, that is true. They must have done a bit of invasion to put the suction the nozzles there, but well,
Right,
never mind.
right.
How to measure the effectiveness of a virtual reality training program? Yeah, well, um, they've got that. People do have to say, don't they, how to measure it? This is um, very much a sort of article for the enterprise, I guess, really. VR training and stuff like that, which of course is in focus. Come on, pop up window thing. There we are. There we are. It's doing it. You can see I'm enjoying playing with this, can't you?
You are enjoying it.
Right. Anyway, this is www.futurevisual.com. futurevisual.com. And yep, not much I can say about that, but you can probably gather from the title the sort of people it's actually aimed at. And if that is you, then could well be of interest. That was June 30th, midweek. Right, walking VR. Now, we covered this before, but it did seem to be a new post on June 29th. Walking VR is the um, what do we call it? Steam compatible software that helps remove barriers for people with disabilities. It's been around since 2017, but officially released on Steam on June 29th, a few
Hmm.
days ago. A welcome news to people who are trying to make VR, and this means the 3R headset type VR more accessible. And yep, the software is called Walking VR. I think we have covered this before. They've got a video there, and the video is actually from the site Road to VR. This particular post, however, is at www.digitalbodies.net. So that's digitalbodies.net. And yeah, as you can see, you've got somebody using the software in a headset whilst they're wheelchair bound. They've got all the, that's Oculus obviously, because it's got the Oculus thingies. And yep, talks all about it from a much more technical point of view, really. Okay, moving on again. And this is Road to VR. And yeah, this was the big news early in the week for sure. Um, these things, I don't know whether they're real or a mock up or just somebody's fantasy. Um, this is a pair of glasses, sort of form factor for a headset, which most of you know the show will know that I'm quite keen on this kind of thing. This one actually has been concocted by Facebook, and it's a completely different display type. We were talking about volumetric capture earlier. This is Facebook claims it's the thinnest VR display to date with holographic folded optics. Now, I must say, when I saw that, I was very puzzled. I thought, what's a folded optic when it's
Hmm.
at home? The closest I've heard to folded things is um, um, quantum mechanics, not optics. But
Oh.
anyway, who knows where Facebook Reality Labs have gone? It's a R&D division, and they published a new research basically a couple of days ago about this proof of concept VR headset, which could truly be called VR glasses. And why are today's so big? Yeah, because that those are big. That's the today one, by the way, not the one they're talking about. And yeah, a few schematics, various things like that. Really, talking about how how the approach would be taken. Again, at the end of the day, this is a new display technology. In other words, it's not just that they got their headset down to a thin sort of glasses form factor, and they got those rather odd squarish looking screens, but the actual display thing is very very different from what you normally see. In fact, from what I can see, it's you wouldn't be able to put these on and go into a VR world that you go into currently in something like Oculus, because all those worlds, however well they're sorted out, are based on pixels. And this apparently is some kind of display that just doesn't involve pixels in any way. It's sort of I think it's one of these ones that fire straight at your eyes or something. Anyway, read all about it because I think it was a Monday, June 29th. It was announced, and well, this post is on June 29th, and all the major blogs were featuring it all week as this sort of. If you were interested in music at Glastonbury, I guess this was the headline thing. Right, put that away. Stop fiddling with these pictures. Okay, this is virtualrealityreporter.com. So virtualrealityreporter. God, that sounded boring, didn't it? .com. Virtual reality reporter. I'm sure you can spell that for yourself, but it is three words squashed, as the web does. And yeah, there we are. Let's see. Does this picture bounce on me? Nah. They're blocking me from bouncing. Zooming. Boring. Boring anyway. Okay, Optim 1.2 adds real-time interactive VR collaboration to the Unreal Engine. Obviously, a lot of people use Unity for authoring VR and interactive stuff, but equally, it's a one-stop fits all thing. But second in line, almost as good really as the Unreal Engine, which back in the days when these things were strictly game engines, I reckon Unreal was probably in the lead over Unity, but they've sort of flipped a bit now. Optim is actually a plugin which allows you to author basically tour digital scenes that can be toured in VR. They're not just VR scenes; they're configured so that they can be used for touring in a VR headset. So the actual hardware VR as opposed to the more general description. Um, New VR functionality is simple as selecting the new multi-user collaborative template in Unreal. So yes, um, it's not only a VR generated plugin; it's also multi-user, um, uh, sort of enabling. Oh, right. I'll put that away before I misinterpret anything else. Oh, now I'm back on. Here we are. Okay. Goody. My Zoomy thing's working again. Or it was. Come on. There we are. These ballet dancers. Aren't they nice? Yes, especially when I can blow them up. Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Giving 100%. What an award-winning documentary tells us about the future of VR. Um, Setting the stage with reality capture. Again, they are. This is motion capture. For VR, you can see just how many triangles are sort of mapped over that dancer. I guess you can see that.
Hmm.
My zoomer
The mesh. Yep.
yeah, my zoomy thing is not working, but you can see it. Yeah, putting a mesh. It's photogrammetry and everything else. Um, Again, they're talking about VR in a very general sense, but all good stuff. Um, yeah. Okay, so you find that one at vrfocus.com, vrfocus.com. And getting through these really rapidly this week because, of course, I didn't put many up, did I?
Mm.
Right. Um, this was interesting. June 28th. This is supposed to Hyper Good Business, actually. David Karuki talking. Basically, training employees is 4 times quicker with VR. Um, Interesting. 4 times quicker, eh? Powered by. Why doesn't. Oh, yeah, I know what the problem here is. The illustration that it's zooming into is not very big in the first place. Right, okay. Um, okay, this is enterprise and training again. Basically, there was a very similar post to this up somewhere else. I think we had last week. Basically, they've been looking at the efficiency of training using VR, and the people were developing skills and stuff in VR at approximately 4 times the rate that they did it when they weren't in VR. So good for VR there. Again, they are talking this kind of headset VR. Yeah, that one zooms. um, and they got a video down there too as well, embedded from somewhere. And finally, the first post of the week, as it were, is another post at scaredghost.com, SKARREDGHOST.com. And the ghost howls. Yes, it does indeed. This is the regular weekly peak. There'll no doubt be another one tomorrow. The XR Week Peak. Oculus kills the Go, which was their other headset, of course. Google buys a company called North, and much more. So, various news of the week. The Go headset has been cancelled now. Um, Google are going to buy, or Alphabet, Google's parent company, going to get this a Canadian startup that makes Focal's smart glasses, and they're called North, and Google is buying them for about 180 million US dollars. That's so expensive for a pair of glasses. Yeah, anyway, you know what's going on there, no doubt. Google is also adding depth APIs to AR Core, something a bit technical there. Apple's added spatial audio to AirPods, or will be. We knew that from last week's
Hmm.
Apple things. TikTok would be entered the AR advertisements field, and um, various other newsworthy of note. I'm scrolling down it live here just in case there's something mentioned here that I forgot to pick up on otherwise for you folks. Always a lot to read here anyway. Um, Unity Learn Premium went permanently free, which is good for people wanting to learn Unity. Um, More about Lost Horizon is gonna be the biggest VR festival ever, and
Mm.
probably was. Uh, Steam are having a summer sale. It's mostly for gamers, that one, I guess. Yeah, and well, that's about it, I think. So I'm just going to click here on my little sidebar and move across to Metaworld News' feed and see what we got there. Right. Yeah. Isabel Sharan has a feed at YouTube, which again is streamed from the Lost Horizons event. Now we're not getting any sound on this, which is all for the better actually, probably. I don't know why, but we're not. Maybe I've. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I'm on. Why don't I get any sound? That's silly. Very silly. Anyway, I'll figure that one out later. Um, yeah, they had a TV screen in the past, so they're just watching some avatars. They're actually watching a TV. Um, right, this is. Oh, I see. I was halfway through this myself. This is a bit earlier on. Um, I forget who was DJing at this particular point. It's hard to tell. Um, Various avatars dancing. Now, unfortunately, this is video. I can't pan around. I keep thinking I can pan
Mm.
around with my
Right.
camera. Let's try and find another bit of the video. The screen's up in the air there, is showing the visuals that are going on with. Oh, hang on, um, that's not helping, is it? That's from the side. This wasn't an official stream. Actually, it was somebody was there. Um, I've got various stuff I took myself, which I'm not sure I've got them onto this machine yet. There you are. You can see that. Well, the actual stage is down there, and now we can't see through. Basically, if that was bigger, there would be a few figures there looking like avatars on the stage, or an avatar with a mixer. But they're actually not avatars. They're just projections of the performers at scaled using video, so they're the same size as the avatars in the audience. So it looks very convincing. Anyway, we'll leave that. Okay, YouTube channel again. This isn't a YouTube film. This is the channel. Here we are. The username you want is Lost Horizon, and as you can see, they've got the live streams from. Now my Zoomy toy is getting in the way of scrolling.
It's always something.
It's always something, isn't it? Yeah, it's zooming in, but I'm at the bottom of the page, so it won't scroll anymore. But basically, if you look up the username Lost Horizon, you'll find that there's replays of all four stages. There's the Beatport Live, there is the Nomad stage, there was the Gas Tower stage, and there was the other stage that had freedom
Freedom
stage.
stage, yep.
Plus lots of side events with art and stuff like that, very much in the tradition of Glastonbury, as it were. And there they are, still bopping away, except they're not computing. Right, okay. Yeah, there is also a video. Oh, I'm not going to load all these. From Sansar itself earlier in the week, advertising the Sansar software itself. Um, Oh, this was interesting. This is for New World Notes. Um, ex Lindens. Ex Lindens is referring to Linden staff who obviously adopt the Linden surname when they're working for Linden Labs. They've got together and they've got funding to launch something called Play Anywhere, which is a massively interactive game world platform with user generated content and monetization. Does that sound familiar?
It does.
I guess it does, and I guess former Lindens would know what all this is about. Anyway, they've actually raised $3 million to develop and launch a platform that deploys massively interactive swarm games that thousands of people can play at the same time. So that's where it departs a bit from Linden Lab, of course, who struggle to get. Well, you can't even get 100 people playing at the same time in that in Second Life. You can obviously in Samsung, but they don't own it anymore. Okay. As you can see, fair old article there. So the link to that is at twitter.com/metaworldnews. And remember, the earlier links were at twitter.com/malbones, which has got the main thing. Also, some release notes here from Engage. This is Engage VR, ENGAGEVR.io, and uh, communicate, teach, and learn. Um, check out latest release notes. Yeah, so that's right. It's just release notes, but it's all updated and stuff, which is why it's in the Metaworld section. Um, Personal nice one here. This is a hello from Tivoli, which is one of the High Fidelity Offshoot Cloud's VR CMO and events manager. Pal of mine, actually. Chaos Princess, we call her. But mind you, she's now appointed CMO for Tivoli, and she's been showing people around and doing stuff. There she is. Real name Christina Kinney. I guess she's German, by the way, so I have no idea how you pronounce the Kinney. Um, but yes, so my congratulations to her, basically, and she's just giving a little bit of background about herself there too. It seems with Vikida and Tivoli and Sansar in Silent
Mm-hmm.
Space, being in Sansar at the moment, there are some pretty high quality worlds coming online now, which are social VR worlds and to stand out from the others. Right, moving on. 3 days ago. Um, ah, um, This is from Kama Sutra. This is a science space developer. Has partnered with Unity to let the asset store creators sell models in game. Um, this is a major plus for Sciencebase, basically. Sort of obviously a lot of stuff in Sciencebase is built with Unity, and in fact there are some Unity tools available to you, the end user, inside Sciencebase these days. Um, but this is actually going the other way, basically. Sciencebase developers are now getting access to Unity's asset store to sell other Unity creators stuff that they've made they're doing with Sciencebase. So it's a linkage with Unity basically that um, sort of consolidates things, I guess. Right, you'll find that at Gamma Sutra, GAMASUTRA .com, which is principally a pop-ups. Dear me, they're useful when I'm working on this machine, not when I'm broadcasting. Right. Yeah. So largely a gaming side, that to be honest. And yeah, let me just dispose of these ones I've still got open. Right. There we are. And yeah, 3 days ago. Oh, right. This is a post from AltSpace VR. Their website is it's account, as in your account, dot altvr, altvr dot com, and this is in their events section. Um, Tom Furness is doing regular events there called Fireside Chats, and what is emphatic computing? And oh, sorry. Okay, well, this is typical of the Metaworld news stream. It's advertising an event that's already happened. So,
Hmm.
but actually, this is worth noting because if you go to events at Alt VR, you'll find Tom Furness is actually doing quite a few. I think the fireside chats are weekly, obviously with a different theme each time. And Somnium Space was a world that I've never been that keen on. It ties in with blockchain, money, and all that sort of stuff. But some people swear that this is all the future. And this is just a little article here about how you actually go about opening, say, something like a nightclub inside Somnium Space, um, which is a fairly fleshed out world now. There's not much written, there's a lot of landscapes that look a bit like this one. They look rather exotic and projections and stuff like that and a dance floor, but they're not full of details like seats and tables and all sorts of things you might find in some of the more sociable virtual worlds. Anyway, as I say, this is on July 1st. I'm basically telling you how to open the nightclub. You want Somnium Times here, so it's SOMNIUMTIMES.com, and that was July the 1st, which was that Thursday, I believe. Yeah, something
Mm-hmm.
like that, maybe Wednesday. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't
All the
remember.
days are the same these days, aren't they? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
stuck here at home. Well, today's the 5th, so 4th. Yeah, it would have been Wednesday the 1st, I think. Okay, let's put that one away too, and put that one away. We'll keep we'll keep that nice picture of chaos up. And 4 days ago, oh yeah, NME had quite a lot of features, the English music paper, but also another article here, which is at Forbes, Forbes.com, and they had an article about Inside Lost Horizon Virtuality Musical Festival. This, of course, was written before it actually took place, but had quite a lot of background stuff. Um, a lot of people, a lot of the PR that this. Here we are, Amnesty International. That was who I couldn't think of. Big
Oh.
issue, and where they're the beneficiaries, and they are two of the same beneficiaries of the real world Glastonbury's, if it were happening. Um, yeah, what was I say? Yeah, we had Fatboy Slim, we had Carl Cox and Pete Tong, who are very big, but also quite a lot of others that I'm a bit out of touch with the DJ culture these days. Um, and um, and some of the bands I saw were great. But actually, the other thing I think that really made this is that the performers, be they DJs or bands here, are known in the real world. They're not known for being virtuality performers. A bit like the Jean-Michel Jarre concert, and then that other character some weeks before that came in as a giant. I can't remember who it was now. Travis Scott, or was that something? I don't know. But this is almost everybody on the bill. Even the placards that are on the website and stuff were in the same typeface. They look like a Glastonbury program with like thousands of things on different stages,
Hmm.
and even that captured it. But of course, all the listings were actually real world artists. They're not artists who we may have come to know and love in virtuality over the last decades. These are people who are used to performing in the real world that are now in virtuality because of lockdown, and doing a very good job. Fatboy Slim seemed to be thoroughly enjoying himself. He brought his daughter. He brought his daughter up too, and she was emulating his hands out poses.
Hmm.
Very sweet. But yeah, so I mean, Forbes does really hone in there. To the fact that it's a virtual reality music festival, but the actual lineup is all people that you would be normally seeing in the real world. So let's put that one away again. And can't be mad. There's a lot in Metaworld news this week, mostly
Hmm.
videos. Okay, this is a video at YouTube. The user is Metaverse School. Oh yeah, that's right. 4 subscribers. I'm one of them. Right. It's a user account called Metaverse School. Um, we've actually covered this a bit before. This is a 3D web worlds. What's oh God, I can't remember. Basically, we tend to know this under a different name. Cyber Lounge, yes,
Oh,
Cyber
right.
Lounge,
Hmm.
where it's on the web, and it's sort of based on OpenSim in many ways in terms of putting stuff up and putting it all together, as it were. As you can see them kind of doing there. Um, Very easy to get in and do it on the web. This video is being compiled not for Cyber Lounge per se, but to actually, I think they've got a subsite, as it were, called Metaverse School, a new dimension in education. So they put this up to kind of advertise um, that. It's only has 3 views on the 30th. From the 30th of June was a few days ago, but yeah, no, it's a nice little video. So if you check out the Metaworld news stream, it's you'll find a link in there. And if you just go to YouTube straight, you can look up the user called Metaverse School. 2 words there, by the way, Metaverse Space School. So nice little thing they've got there. And yeah, oh, okay. The only other thing here was uploadvr.com was saying don't miss Can XR free this week at the Museum of Other Realities. Now, that's actually over, but the reason I pulled that, oh, well, hang on, free to visit until Friday. Actually, no, that may be over. I thought I read on a tweet somewhere that the actual venue there is still open, even though the festival's um, yeah. Museum of Other Realities on Steam till July 3rd, and today's the 5th. So yeah, tough, tough. Sorry about that, folks. Not can't advertising the stuff that's already happened. Right, okay, and a bit of get rid of our YouTube there. So I should just what? She's not zooming for me. Come on, Chaos! I want you to zoom on my mouse. No, she's not having it. I will just have a quickie look here in my other department of pictures for broadcast. Oh yeah, that's one of my snips of the festival. Um, oh, this was a band I really liked. They were sort of a mixture of blues and trance, really. Um, Here are the avatars in the audience. I think that might have been mine before I got a better jacket, or it could have been that could be me. It was one of the two. But there's like you can see what avatar size at the front of the stage is like. Now there's a gap of a couple of yards before the edge of the stage. There's like a press enclosure fence there. Not that there's anybody in it, but you know. So there's a few feet gap, as it were. And then these are the performers, the band on stage. The woman singing, there's a guitar, um, drums, drums as well. And you know, to look at them in the picture, they just look like avatars because they're the same size as this avatar would be if he was up there, if you see what I mean. But it's actually all done on video. That basically you can see them, but what's behind them is filmed on green screen, so you're just seeing through to the back of the stage. And for many of the performers, they have their own, like in real life, they had their own video backdrops behind them. So it was like a double layer video, where the performers were green screened and transparent in the foreground at the edge of the stage, and further back on the stage there would be separate, you know, video streams or effect streams, you know. If you've ever seen the Pink Floyd live in their later years, you remember they would have the band, but they would have great lighting and stuff. But then they
Hmm.
had that circular screen that came down, and they had specially made films with a lot of their songs. And this was a common thread at the Shangri-La. You know, the bands were not only coming in via green screen, but they'd also obviously filmed and prepared background films and graphics to go with their set, you know. So it just really felt like the lavish sort of thing you get at a real festival. Um, yeah, so that was that. What else have I got? Oh yes, nice little quotation from Joan Lanier there. If there's any object in human experience that's a precedent for what a computer should be like, it's a musical instrument. A device where you can explore a huge range of possibilities through an interface that connects with your mind and your body, allowing you to be emotionally authentic and expressive. Up yours, Facebook. Right. Sorry. Right. During the week. Oh, actually, it's the week before now. Oh, God, I get so confused. This is Monday, June 22nd. Safia Widdowshin's In Second Life was interviewing, in this case, it was Ebbe Linden. The Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they were doing Patch Linden, the Mole Makers, and various others too. All of which I'm not sure where they are, but they are findable on YouTube, although they're obviously long over now, as is the birthday. Um, where, oh crumbs, what am I doing here? Scrolling these pictures, there's too many. There we are. Um, schematic for some haptic gloves there. And, oh, that was the Second Life birthday. That's Patch Linden giving his keynote, and that's Strawberry Linden. And there's a little pussycat down here who's sort of dropped in, and he wasn't meant to be there. He kind of teleported in as a result of Patch Linden's calendar, and landed quite literally on the spot.
Hmm.
Naughty pussycat he was.
And
Yes,
that wasn't you?
it was me.
Oh, okay.
It's my Second Life avatar.
That's what I thought.
A pussycat. Well, it's Patch's fault for sending me a direct link, isn't it?
Ah, I see.
Oh yeah, and this is the future of rock and roll,
Right.
not the Glastonbury type, right? Band in a bubble. That's great. I can see that working if they can breathe. You know, it's like they got their
That's
personal.
the Flaming Lips, I believe.
Is it?
And yeah, they did that on the Colbert
I've never.
Show. Yeah.
Oh, nice one. I didn't know
Yep.
I didn't really know where this came from. I just
Yeah.
thought it was an intriguing image as to.
6 feet of or 2 meters of separation
Yeah. Supposed to
in the
6 meters.
audience too.
Yes, yeah. I was looking at it. Yeah, so it's quite a. Yeah, I thought it was quite a interesting thing.
Yep.
Anyway, that was that for the picture post, as it were. And I am. Yeah, I'm done.
You're gonna call it?
I'm going to call it, yes.
All right.
What do you think? Anything that obviously a bit shorter than normal, although, well, we're probably not that much shorter than normal, but less links, I think.
Yeah.
But anything captured your eye there? And
The idea of volumetric video is, when we first had, the early phases of 360 photos. I can
Yeah,
remember thinking, wow, this would be great if this could be a video. And I said, but oh, all the data, that would be incredible. Well, now it's everywhere. It's all over YouTube. And
yeah,
so now to have, volumetric video, just the amounts of data just boggle my mind. And I'm trying to meet the frame rate of YouTube right now with one 2D screen, and
yeah.
trying to
Well,
have all those
it's,
multiple streams so that you can move your head and move around inside of a video is pretty amazing.
yeah. I mean, I've always seen it in science fiction quite a bit anyway. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
I mean, the actual only unrealistic part of it at the moment is processing power.
right.
And of course,
And internet transmit speed.
yeah, the incremental, um, increase in processing power and bandwidth speeds over the internet with what's it called? What was it, V5 or
Oh, yeah,
uh,
5G cellular.
5G? Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Which is faster than fiber optic broadband apparently,
right,
even though it's
right.
still. Um, it's yeah, I mean it's all changing, and it's in 20 years probably people will probably accept it and think, well, what do you mean you only had a
Right, right.
gigabyte? What do you mean you only had a gigabyte a second?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Things we dream of now will be passe,
Right, right.
in 10, 20 years. So yeah, and I'm intrigued by the optics where they will actually start projecting. It won't be pixel based, so it'll actually be projecting the visuals into your eyes.
Right, right. And I feel like the
Um,
Facebook announcement had something to do with light wave technology, but
I think so too.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there was the other thing. I think something that was done. Recently. I guess it would have needed some fast connection. Was I remember back in I guess it was the 90s. I used to go up to Camden Lock Market and things, and a load of the old hippies were selling these wonderful sort of psychedelic posters and things. But they were all it was the early ray tracing,
Mm-hmm.
and they were wonderful pieces of work, but the actual processing, ray tracing those graphics would have taken several weeks on a pretty,
Yeah, yeah.
a hard computer.
I
So
remember
they were,
rendering a chrome teapot on my Amiga. It took forever.
yeah, yeah, yes, I remember the Amiga, and actually,
Yeah.
even when I first started using Photoshop on the early Macs,
Mm-hmm.
it was, anything of professional resolution was wait, wait, wait,
Right,
even on the
right.
best of the Macs around at the time.
Yep.
And we also had a program called Res, I think it was called at the time, where it plugged into Photoshop and it allowed you to do all your work in low res, so you could do it in real time,
Mm-hmm.
and then it recorded the changes you did in low res and then applied them in the background to the high res Photoshop image in stages. And this was before Photoshop even had actions. So it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
very complex workarounds. But if I had a copy of that now, I'd think of it. What do we need that for?
Mm-hmm.
But by hell, we needed it then. So yeah,
We're gonna
um,
verge into grumpy old Avatar territory here.
yeah. Well,
In
don't
our
we will.
day, we had to wait. We had to wait hours and hours to see an image,
The processing to
and it
happen.
was good
Yeah,
enough for us.
yeah. And I remember. Yeah, I've still got it. It's buried back here because it's got a cathode ray tube monitor, and it's one of the ones that's got had the special Genlock output
Mm-hmm.
for
Yep, yep.
so it's I you can mix the computer with video.
To go to
Good
your
old
480 interlaced image, that'd
yeah,
be
yeah,
awesome.
VHS analog video, and I've still got it here because there's no replacement for it. But of
Right,
course, the
right,
Amiga is, I've got one disc has got files, the other disc has the software you're using,
right.
floppies, and I've got one piece of software that did video titling, another one that did basic video graphics. There's another one called Deluxe Paint that was
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember
very
Deluxe Paint.
primitive, wasn't it? Photoshop type
Bitmap
thing, and
cycling. That was a
all bit
blast.
yeah. Oh, I used to love the 8-bit
Uh huh.
cycling.
Uh huh. I
Yeah,
imagine that. Right.
Just make a little logo, put it on video, and then cycle the,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
it's like those corner IDs, you
Oh,
know,
we're
on
dangerous.
TV. But
We're
yeah, we
dangerous.
were. We were.
It's
I
dangerously too
think
old.
if you saw it now, you'd think, God, bling, loud.
Right, right.
But yeah, reminiscing, eh? Good
Yep,
grief.
yep.
Yeah. I love the Amiga though, because there was nothing like it at the time, and
Mhm.
the Mac came along soon after, but it wasn't, it was a forerunner
Yep.
of the
J
Mac in
J
a
Miner
way.
was
And
a smart
if
fellow.
you couldn't afford Quantel's Paintbox, the only thing you could use for graphics on videotape was, the
Amiga.
Amiga.
Yep.
Yeah, the Amiga. There's a
Right,
tongue
right.
twist. There's a
Yeah,
tongue
that's a good
twister
one.
for you. Yeah,
Well, I think
Amiga,
that's a show, huh?
Amiga. Yes, I think it is. Yes,
Yep.
and we've got no other comments. What do you think? Just before you go, what do you personally think of Sansar? It's certainly come along since
Oh,
I couldn't even use it in the
I
early
couldn't
days to
even
begin
use
with.
it before. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
quite impressed actually, and I love the lighting in this environment we have here is wonderful.
Yeah,
I like the texture on your fedora is wonderful. I mean, it looks like felt. It looks great.
yeah. I don't know if it's mesh or not. A lot of the stuff here is mesh, but
Mhm.
there's rigged mesh and static mesh
Right,
apparently. I mean,
right.
usually when you buy things on the marketplace, it tells you which. But yes, this is definitely my style of hat.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it's just a shame I can't wear it with the beard. But in fact, I
Right.
got rid of my beard, as you know, but whether the readers, listeners, sorry, probably don't know. So this is my mouth started opening. The beard apparently was like super glued on.
Right, right.
It didn't move with my chin. It was glued to my bottom lip,
Yeah.
hanging. It really didn't look quite right, but this is okay. This is okay. It's a fair. Well, one day I will have a universal avatar. I mean, we're sort of getting there. I've tried bringing the avatar you all know and love in here, and yeah, I've got the file, the FBX file to bring in, but it's not rigged properly, and
Right.
Sansol wouldn't accept it. But I got it into High Fidelity, so I'll be able to get it into Devola easy enough. And I've got it in Sansar, I've got it in OpenSim. Can't put it into Second. Well, actually, I might be able to get it in Second Life, but I don't want to. I want to stay my pussycat in Second Life. Yeah. Anyway, yes. End the show before I ramble down my pussycat will go down the rabbit hole,
Mhm.
and you'll hear squawking and meowing and all sorts
Right.
of things from the rabbit hole, and I will be sat up here speechless. Right. So that's it for another week. Hope you enjoyed all the news. Hope you've had an enjoyable week. If you're anything like me, you've like all this music stuff and stuff. Um, we had the virtual live band. Um, for the first time in 5 years, they came back for July 4th last night in Second Life and hosted by Slim Warrior, my pal. And same lineup. Mambo Wells, their bassist, is in London here. The rest of the band are scattered around the world, but they mix and play in real time, and they were so tight you wouldn't believe that the musicians were playing live from scattered points around the planet. And it's good old sort of 70s style hippie rock, So it's tight, but it's got that vibe. Yes, there was another chap whose name I forget that is doing a so-called world tour of virtual worlds, and they've been popping into all sorts of them recently. And last night they popped into Science Space, and it's quite intriguing. They got performances. The performer is on video, but they've also got other pre-recorded video, and it's a kind of hybrid concert and game. You listen to the music and the lyrics, and then if it then towards the end you actually have to choose which of the characters strands you want to follow in the story, and then you take a little break and wander around the simulation to find whichever character you want to go with, so to speak, and then you return, to the concert bit, and they by then they've got the results and will know what direction the story in the act is finishing in. If you see what I mean.
Mhm.
But they've been doing this in quite a lot of different worlds, and last night was Science Space, so all those two together with 2 days of Glastonbury has really been quite a week. I will remember it for quite a while, I think. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. As we say, it's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye from the two of us until next week. Maybe we'll be here. Maybe we'll be somewhere else and surprise you.
Hmm.
And God forbid, maybe I'll have yet another different avatar. But we will see. For now, have a good week, and it's bye from both of us. And yeah, keep safe, stay locked down. Don't go and play in the pubs just because you think you can. We'll see you later. Bye bye.